We recently went to social to understand what questions the RPA community had for me. We took all questions, everything RPA. If you have any additional questions, you can ask them in the comments below with hashtag AskMicahAnything. Here are the questions we got and the answers that I gave. Ask Micah anything. This came from a LinkedIn user. It says basically, I saw the quick tip on error handling and advanced error handling. I've been using the try and catch block from the Imagine conference that was presented there. You recently uploaded a video on advanced error handling. I wanted to understand how to break out of the retries left concept. So let me show you that, and I'll switch over to my screen real quick. I'll try and make this as big as I can so you can see it. In the case that was presented here, we have some code that we want to retry up to, let's say, 3 times. And if I have an error inside of that, I want to catch that, break out of the loop, and then try everything again. Now, in my try block, which is on the far left here, you'll see at the very end, what I'm doing is I'm setting a flag that says case complete equal to true. In my finally block, I'm checking to see if that case complete is equal to true or not, right? If it's not true, then I know that the case was not completed successfully. I need to break out of this, but I want to keep a log to make sure I know exactly how many times this thing failed before I keep moving on. If the case did complete successfully, then I want to go forward with whatever comes next in my process. And that might mean going back to the loop and the next item in my loop, or it might mean going on to some other part of the process. But I'm using it with a flag. You could do a break at the very end of your try statement if you wanted to, and if you didn't want to log it. I'm doing a flag at the very end of my try statement, and then in my finally block, I'm referencing that flag to see if it was set or not. Otherwise, I'm trying that whole particular item again. Hopefully that cleared that up a little bit. We'll write an article on that as well. A LinkedIn user sent us this message. Micah, greetings. Do we have any upcoming sessions on AA 2019? I tried executing some scenarios, but I'm facing various hurdles. So I wanted to undergo some training apart from the academy courses. Thanks in advance. So to this, I would say definitely take a look at the developer portal. And this is found at developer.automationanywhere.com. If I understood correctly from the question, it sounds like you've already been through the Automation Anywhere University training and you're wanting to build on your kind of foundation from there. So this is a great resource to be able to build on that foundation. There are specific tutorials here that will help you to upskill and kind of expand on your comfort level with some of the different packages. I would specifically take a look at some of these quick tips. Where appropriate, they have extra notes and they have extra pointers to keep track of, as well as links to GitHub projects. So if there are specific code or specific references within the video, we'll add those as GitHub links here so you can take a look at that. The other thing I would suggest is checking out the Automation Anywhere YouTube channel. And specifically, I would look at the AA Illustrates. In this, we go through some full bot builds, and I would look at some of those and build along with me, because that's a good way for you to kind of build on that foundation and take it to the next level of being able to include Python with your bots or being able to do more advanced automations. Gabe on Twitter asks, what's the fastest bot you've built and what was it? So I actually built a bot several times over. This is the car buyer bot, and I've referenced it several times in some of the media or content that I've created. But this bot right now is the fastest bot that I've ever built. And I've rewritten it several times because I've wanted to try different concepts or different approaches in the way that it works. But basically what it's doing is it's scraping car listings from cargurus.com. The reason that it's the fastest bot that I've ever built now is because what I did was when I was looking at the Car Gurus listings, right here I'm looking for a Kia Sedona. When I hit next, what I was doing is trying to understand what web service calls CarGurus was making as it transitions to those pages. So I would hit F12 and that gets you into Developer Console within Chrome. And I switched over to this Network tab here. If I hit Next, I can actually see all of the service endpoints that are being called during that page transition. So what I did was I looked to see exactly how they were calling that page transition and what variables they were passing and what values were required. And I cloned that exact same request. And so my bot now, instead of actually using their website, goes through and just calls their web service backend directly so that I can get the data that I need And in fact, it gets returned as a JSON, so it's a lot easier for me to parse than having to go through and like scrape everything from the page once it's been displayed. So technically, that's the fastest bot that I have right now. I've rewritten it several times just because it's fun for me to do, and it's a good page to practice on because there's a lot of different ways you could scrape content from this. But right now, that's the fastest bot that I have. Mr. Dixon on Instagram asks, how do you keep your teeth so white? Tell me where the bot is for that, please. So my teeth are of normal whiteness, I would say. I was kind of an idiot in college, and this was probably 15 years ago. I used some of those Crest white strips, and they say to do it for like 30 minutes and then take the things off. But if 30 minutes is good, then several hours must be great, right? So I actually slept in them, and when I woke up, my teeth were so sensitive I couldn't even eat the next day. I would not recommend doing that. In fact, I don't use any of those kind of products anymore because the sensitivity of your teeth is something you can't get back. So my teeth were crazy sensitive when I was using that. I stopped using it, and I like just being able to have normal functioning teeth. This has been Ask Micah Anything. Thanks so much for your question. Go be great.